Hi everyone, this is Ellen from Project Astrology. I want to go over the Cancer New Moon chart that's happening on July 5th, 2024 at 6:57 p.m. East Coast of the United States. This, you can see I'm using a new template. This is something that I'm working on. I have in mind an astrology software program, and this is something I created. If you are signed up for the Believe tier on Project Astrology on Patreon, you've already seen this. I share sneak peek articles or videos showing what I'm working on and going over why I've included all the different things that I've included. This new moon, I'm excited about this new moon chart, or the energies that are unfolding with this new moon. So we have the sun and the moon at 14 degrees of Cancer, and the Sabian symbol for that, which is actually for 15 degrees, so it's the 15th degree. So we look up 15 degrees for the Sabian symbol, and that is. There are a few, depending on who you read. James Burgess says, group who have overeaten and enjoyed it. Dane Rudger says, in a sumptuous dining hall, guests relax after partaking of a huge banquet. And then Mark Edmund Jones says, a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. So you can see the general theme is a huge feast, and it's sort of the aftermath of that huge feast, the enjoyment of relaxing after that and just kind of being with each other and just that wonderful feeling that comes with being in community after feasting. So that's kind of the idea. There's an interesting thing going on, though. There is, let's see if I can pull this up a little closer. This line is going between Pluto and the new moon in Cancer. And that, so that's showing an aspect. And that aspect is a keen decile. And the keen decile is a 165 degree aspect. This is, I think, 163-ish or something, but it's in the ballpark as far as I'm concerned. The 165 degree aspect, the way that I've been reading that is it in it itself is about birthing. So Cancer is about birthing. Is about emerging into a new state. So you think about the fetus birthing into a new realm. We're emerging into a new realm. We're birthing. But the keen decile, the way that I understand it right now, it's the idea of being in the actual birth canal. It's about the pressure that comes in that birth canal, and that it can express. It's known to be called the fatal in the natal, and there's another funny name for it that I can't remember, like clever name for it that I can't remember, but it can express as obsession and compulsion. But if you think about the purpose of it, which is a lot of intensity in a process to help with the birthing. So in other words, the fetus has to go through that birth canal, and it wants to. It makes the decision to do that. And it wants to, and as it goes through that birth canal, and as the tunnel, or the birth canal closes in on it, contracts in and out on it, what that's doing is it's pumping out the fluids that it is no longer going to serve it when it gets into the new environment where it has to breathe air. So there's a purpose. That contraction, while it may feel uncomfortable, is there for a purpose. So actually, if we understand that, then when we see this compulsion type of, negative compulsive kind of activity that's harmful to self and other, then perhaps what we can try to look for is what's trying to be birthed. What is it? Because there needs to be kind of a compulsive energy there. Like, it's actually functional. If it's done right, it's actually functional. You can think about those contractions as the compulsion. So anyway, that's just an aside. But so there's this idea of feasting, and after the feast, it's like this. So this idea of a lull, between one moment and another moment, and then there's this idea of birthing into something new. So the imagery that came up for me is like coming of age. I thought about. So I'm not Jewish. And I've never attended or read about or anything a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, I think is for the women. But that that word came up for me. The idea of a coming of age, entering into a new stage of development, and a recognition of that, a celebration of that, a marking it, that it's important and it's being marked. So that's a sense that I have. So the whole energy of the new moon itself is the celebration and that lull that comes after, before we go on with our lives. And the life we're going on to, we're entering into a realm we haven't been in before, just by virtue of the fact that we're entering into a new stage of development. So I guess what I would like to say is, if you do feel any kind, I think what might happen during this new moon, and I'm not actually very good at prediction necessarily, but one thing that may happen is the first part may feel really like just a nice, easy lull, where we're just enjoying, we're taking in the moment, and we're enjoying the aftermath of all that we've accomplished, the feast that we've created and eaten and all of that. And then perhaps as we move more towards the full moon, we may start to feel like the contractions. We may start to feel a pull to enter into this canal, so that we can go and be birthed into a new realm. So those are that's the main thing that I have to say. One of the reasons I'm talking about it in this way, aside from the fact that there is this Kindasal, which I think is really significant, is because in the full moon we have the moon itself will be here at the very end of Capricorn, and it'll be conjuncting Pluto, which is still in Aquarius. So there's a sense, I'll talk about this more with the actual full moon, but when I do that reading, but there's a sense of Pluto itself can be thought of as a kind of a tunnel type of energy, and there's a sense of the moon, which in evolutionary astrology is our ego, kind of going through a tunnel and being rebirthed. So from Capricorn, what is known, the standards, the status quo, to Aquarius, to the individual, to something unknown, to the future, that sort of thing. So we'll be like, it's sort of like saying we are being birthed into our own individuated selves at this whatever particular level that's happening for us. I mean, we're always kind of being birthed into our individual selves, but the container that was supporting us for so long, like if you think about the child, the family was the container, Cancer, the family was the container. And then you grow and eventually you leave that family. They're still there, but you're leaving it. It's not there supporting you in the same way that it did. And that's just a function of growing and becoming more and more ourselves and becoming more independent and interdependent. But I hope that's making sense. It's just part of the process of growing, and each time we grow a little further, like if you think about the fetus in the womb, they're entirely reliant on the mother, and then they're born, and yes, they're entirely reliant on the mother, but now they have like a separate, they're their own independent being. So at every stage of birth, there's some level in which we're becoming our own independent being. And that's what I see happening here. We're in that lull. I think that first part of the new moon period, so from the 5th to about 14 days later, I can't remember what day the full moon is on, but so from the 5th through a week and a half or so, or the first week for sure, it'll be that sense of just enjoying how far we've come, and the celebration of how far we've come and all of that. So I hope that makes sense. I feel like, as usual, I'm kind of stumbling and not expressing myself very well, but I wanted to come on and just share that. And there's a short written article that goes with this, so you can read that too. But I like to have the audio or the video just to kind of expand on what I say there. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope there was something useful and helpful. And always remember, these are my thoughts about it. These are my ideas. These are my take based on what I'm seeing in the chart. But what's really true is what actually happens. So I learn as I go. So I'm looking at this. I'm saying, okay, these are the energies I'm anticipating, and this is how I'm spinning them. But as I go through it, I may experience something different, and it may be that there was something else there that I didn't see. So these are just my thoughts going into it, and then our work for each of us is to actually be there in it as it's happening and pay attention and be aware and be open to what is truly unfolding for us, so that, because the intention of whatever is unfolding is to help us always. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. Thank you so much again, and if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments below, and if you like this video, like it, please let me know. That really helps me, and that's all. Okay, bye.